In my last episode, I did a bunch of prep work on a sand quarry, and you may be wondering why it isn't in the thumbnail or the title. Well, it's really big and it's taking a long time to actually build it, and it's hard to just grind right through it. And when I get it done, I want to be able to show it working in the same episode. And if I worked on it in this episode, I'd basically just be working on it through the whole episode, and that would be it. And I don't think that'd be a very good episode. So instead, I'm going to work on it in the background, and hopefully it will be ready for my next episode. In the meanwhile, I'm going to work on some smaller tasks as I take occasional breaks from working on that sand quarry. Don't worry though, I don't think this is going to be a lighter episode. I actually tried to make it a lighter episode and release it earlier, and I ended up overbuilding the heck out of a flower farm, and now it produces 550,000 items, or 300,000, about 300,000 flowers per hour. And it ended up requiring a massive storage, and I ended up creating a 6x shulker loader for the storage. So it's still the same old me. I'm just working on a sand quarry in the background. I can give you a progress report though. I've got one side of it done so far. This took me about 8 hours to build. So there's also the other side, which will take a similar amount of time to build, and the middle section, which should hopefully go fast, but it's also really big. I can also leave you with a supercut of me accidentally launching off the flying machines and chasing them down, because that's a thing that happens several times. One thing I'd like to do that is a little bit lighter is something I've been putting off for quite some time, but it's something that's easy to do when I need a break from the sand quarry, and that is to operate this tunnel bore here and dig for more diamonds. I've got about a half a shulker box of diamond ore right now, and I'd like to fill it the rest of the way before I actually start cracking them. And then long term, I'd like to get a shulker box of diamond blocks. But if I'm ever going to get there, I need to actually dig from time to time. And it's a nice, easy thing to do when I need a break from a big build, so I think it's the perfect time. Let's see if we can fill the rest of that shulker box of diamond ore. Well, I've been at this for a few hours and it has not gone particularly well at all. Right now I am underneath an ocean biome, and that means that every cave I run into is filled with water, and that has really slowed down the process. And then now I have hit an underwater ravine right here, underwater ravine that goes all the way up to the very top. This is no longer a relaxing thing to do while I'm taking a break. This is now quite a lot of work that's going to be required to clear all this out. I will come back to this. I will take care of this. But so far, I was only able to do this for a few hours, and I managed to get about 4. I got 1 here, 1 there, and then another one and 2 more in here. So 4 stacks of diamond blocks, diamond ore. A lot less than I'd like to give. But like I said, I'll come back to this. Just that ravine, man, that's going to take a lot of work to deal with. So I guess that means it's time to talk about flower farms. I designed this flower farm a little over a year ago, and for its purpose, it works great. Its purpose was to get a bunch of flowers that I could use to plant on my floating island for decoration. So I picked this spot specifically because it's every single flower type within the flower forest biome. And for that purpose, it works great. I mean, it's a little bit slow if you're looking at it from the perspective of individual flowers, but it was never designed for that purpose. But we kind of need something that was designed for that purpose, because what we really need is cornflower. We go through an awful lot of this. It's one of the best sources of blue dye. We don't really want to use lapis because it's not really quite as renewable. And so we've been talking about making a cornflower farm for a really long time. Asta, since he joined the server, he's been saying he wants to build a cornflower farm, but he's never actually gotten around to doing it. And I finally said, hey, I need something small to work on while I'm working on the sand quarry. And so I decided we recently set up the fungus farm for our nether tree farm, and that thing works really well. It's really fast. It's the same general principle. And I actually found a way to soup it up, make it a little bit faster. And then we made it bigger, and then I realized, oh man, I have to store 300,000 flour per hour and deal with the extra 250,000 wheat seeds that come through it per hour. So it ended up not being a small project at all. It's actually a pretty big farm. It's actually not much bigger than this farm at all. It's just, it took a while to plan and design it and everything like that. And so I found a spot. It should be over here somewhere. Yeah, I think it's this spot right here. I got it marked in my world seed that is pretty much all cornflower with a small patch of lily of the valley right in the middle of it. And I don't mind getting a few lily of the valley out of the farm. They're pretty rare flowers. It's hard to get a lot of them, and I really like the look of them. They're really pretty flowers, so I don't have any problem with getting some of those out of the farm as well. So yeah, really big farm, creates 550,000 items per hour. 300,000 of them are flowers themselves. The other ones are wheat seeds, obviously, that you can post, and we'll go over it. Let me build it. Let me build it right here, and we'll go over it. Man, this thing, look at this. This is amazing. And this is surprisingly lag friendly. We're getting 24 MSPT right now. Most of that is background MSPT. When I was running this by itself in creative mode, it was 6 MSPT. However, it is probably killing my frame rate a little bit, especially while I'm recording. So let me go ahead and turn my particles off for right now, just so that we can actually move around this thing. Disable particles true. There we go. That's quite a bit better right there. I'll probably just turn it off anyways. Let's let this launch one more time. And we'll go ahead and turn it off. So AstaZora, like I said, he's been wanting to make one of these for quite some time. And he was skeptical. I'm like, I want to make a small one. And he wanted one that was pretty big. And I was like, okay, well, I'll make a small one. And if you want to, you can make multiples of them at some point. Because you can stack these up, as far as you want and whatever, if you wanted to. And so that was his plan. And he helped me out with this design, actually. And he helped me out with the old fungus farm design as well. And when we saw it actually working, he's like, okay, no, I approve of this. This is all we need. Because this is crazy. Because if you come down here, so here's all the storage down here. And in the time that it took me to set up, to make sure all the filters and the loaders were working, which a bunch of random items fell into them all, and none of them were working, and I got them all working now. And while I was setting all that up, we got this much cornflower, which is probably more than I will ever. Well, I mean, we'll probably use all this eventually. There's 3 of us. This is actually, but I mean, that's a lot of cornflower. And then I only set up 1 loader for the lily of the valley because this is definitely more than I will use of this. I don't know what color dye does this make. I'm not really sure. Is it white or is it? I think it's light gray, isn't it? So that can be useful from time to time. Oh, it's white. Okay. Although we don't really need that any either way. But yeah, a whole bunch of Lily Valley and just a ton of cornflower. And this thing, so this is where all the composters, they feed in the bone meal, because this thing eats up about 75 shulker boxes of bone meal per hour, which is absurd. But, you know, I mean, it's unlikely that you'd really run it for an hour at a time. And then you get about 8 shulker boxes back from the composted items. So it eats through bone meal. But that's to be expected for, you know, 550,000 items per hour. Look at it go. It's just so many flowers. I love this thing so much. Alrighty then. So I've come back to my base and it looks like Asta has been added again. Let's see what he has to say this time. You were warned, but I was not heard. Give me my beacons. Oh no. Or your netherite burns. Okay. All right. So at least this time, heard and burns, they kind of rhyme. I'll give it to him. You know, artistic license, poetic license, and whatnot. But netherite doesn't burn. Wait a second. Wait. What netherite? What netherite? Oh man, this can't be good. This is wide open. And my vault's wide open. So he got in. And he took my netherite. So in a video, I showed myself putting his beacons here in my vault to protect them. And I thought he might try to get in here. And I don't know how he got in. Because, I mean, the security here is really tight. But I didn't think he would take... The beacons were never here. I put the beacons here for a second, and I ended the video, and I took them somewhere else. I've got them hidden. But I didn't think he'd take my netherite. This isn't good. There was, I think, 6 blocks of netherite there. That's a lot of netherite. He took something much more valuable than the beacons. I have to do something about that. Let me think about it. Let me figure out what I can do. All right, I figured out what to do about these beacons. Now, AstaZora did blow up my trading hall. Oh, hey! Oh my God! But I'll admit, I might have blown up his house first. Oh! And so maybe we're kind of even, and maybe I don't really even need the beacons. Like, I mean, I already have a shulker box of my own, so, like, I guess maybe I could be a little bit reasonable and give him the beacons, but it's not going to be quite that simple. I'm going to make him work for him. I'm going to send him on a treasure hunt, and that is a pirate treasure hunt. So I've set up a little treasure trove here, and the treasure trove is to attract his attention to the lectern, and the lectern has his first clue in the pirate treasure hunt. Ahoy there, landlubber! If it's buoys, beacons, ye seek, then I have a great adventure for ye. 'Tis a quest for the treasure of the afeared pirate J-Man. 'Tis a great treasure indeed, and a most noble quest. 'Tis important ye must quest using the pirate language alone. Ye need not speak like a pirate, but ye must be able to read like one. At least one that can read. If ye get stuck, search first the trinket stored on the great floating island of the afeared pirate J-Man. Every item found in a clue can be found somewhere in his multi-item storage, whatever that be. Here be ye first clue. Search first at the farm where bullions of steel be produced. It be a most broken farm indeed, has been quite some time since a great steel man has been seen there. Search there, and ye will find a barrel with the first clue. Good luck to ye, landlubber. Ye will need it. The afeared pirate J-Man is a most formidable foe, but be ye persistent, and the treasure may be yours. I'm sorry, that's really hard. It's really hard on my voice. But yeah, that's the treasure hunt there. So he's going to get, I think, about 5 clues like that, where he needs to go from point to point, and he needs to actually be in the pirate language. That's what it was saying there. So what you see bullion of steel and barrel. So that's the idea there, is he needs to go, every item that I'll talk about in the clues will be an item that's in my multi-item storage. So if he gets stuck and he doesn't know what one is, he can go through my storage and look for, see if he can figure out what item is called what in the pirate language, and he needs to be in the pirate language the whole time in order to complete the quest. And so obviously that first one's a pretty softball clue. He needs to go to the iron farm, and there'll be a barrel out there in front of it. So oh, that's a lot of fun. So good luck to you, AstaZora. I hope you enjoy your treasure hunt, and if you complete it, you will finally get your beacons. And I need my netherite back. So a slightly shorter episode than normal, but I've been spending a lot of time working on the sand quarry. I hope you appreciated this little distraction here. That flower farm is just absolutely absurd. And hopefully next episode we can have the sand quarry up and running. I'm really excited for that thing. That thing's going to be really beneficial to us. So that's all I have for this episode. I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye now.